Welcome back, everybody. As many of you guys know, I'm a law enforcement trainer instructor. I train and instruct military and law enforcement all across the country on various law enforcement disciplines to include constitutional law, case law, patrol tactics, use of force, firearms, non-lethals, etc. And I've been getting a lot of videos from you guys. I've been getting some questions, some emails from you guys in regards to DUI enforcement, SFSTs, standardized field sobriety tests, things of that such. And I just wanted to make kind of a clarifying video for you guys today. I believe in transparency. I believe in being open. I believe in transparency. I believe in sharing my biases with you guys. And so I've been real hesitant. In fact, I don't think we've done any videos so far on DUI enforcement or SFSTs. And that's been intentionally. So I am familiar with DUI enforcement. I teach SFSTs. I teach DUI investigations. I teach DUI warrants, blood warrants. I'm certified ARIDE, which stands for Advanced Roadside Impaired Driving Enforcement. So DUIs are something that I'm very familiar with and I'm very well versed. I keep current with SFSTs. I keep current with the latest nomenclature on SFSTs, on ARIDE. So I'm always in the loop. I'm one of those nerds that has the manuals. I have all the manuals. I even have the manuals for prosecutors and judges. There's a NHTSA manual for that as well. So I keep very current with SFSTs, and I keep very current with DUI investigations. I keep very current with whatever NHTSA puts out. This is something that I follow regularly. And you would think for somebody who follows the stuff regularly, who is an instructor in these subject matters, that I'd be more likely to share, or I would share more about DUI enforcement. And that's actually not the case. And so I kind of want to talk about that. I just want to be very honest with you. And so the first thing that, I believe this channel is for, I believe this channel is really, I don't think you guys watch me for my opinion. I don't believe that. I believe you guys watch me because you guys like the fact that I give you the facts, I give you the case law, and regardless of how you feel or how I feel about it, we can at least look at the reality of what Supreme Court case precedents say, etc. And I think that's why you guys watch me. I don't truly believe that you guys watch me just for my opinion. I don't think you guys care much about my opinion. I think my opinion is really irrelevant to most of you. So that's why I don't talk about DUI enforcement, because it's really hard. It's almost impossible, in my opinion, to talk about DUI enforcement from just a factual standpoint, because DUIs are, especially in this day and age, it's a political doctrine in nature, right? We have organizations, both governmental and private sector nonprofits like MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, that really are big about DUI enforcement, really big about how law enforcement officers conduct and do DUIs. And in the grand scheme of things, as somebody who's still current in the law enforcement criminal justice umbrella, so to speak, it's hard to speak about this stuff without getting, let me just be honest, a ton of pushback, because this is something that is very political. It is a very political enforcement, right? And so it's hard to talk about DUIs and not just give you my opinion. It's just hard because, for example, a lot of the questions I get are, well, should I blow an SFS? Should I conduct SFSTs roadside? Should I blow into the breathalyzer? Like, those are the kind of questions you get into when you start talking about DUI enforcement. And so if I give you my opinion, right, while they may be backed by the science, while they will be backed by the science, by the receipts, there's going to be a tremendous amount of pushback that I'm going to get from governmental entities. Let's just call it what it is. And so that would be something that if I were to do videos on, I'm not against it, but if I were to start doing videos on DUI enforcement, it would be something that I would want to talk to my legal counsel about, so I can present this material in a way that's going to reduce risk to myself. And so that's kind of why I don't talk about it, because, again, just to put it plainly, I don't talk about it because I don't think you guys care about my opinion. Okay, so that's number one. I don't think you care about my opinion. But let's say you guys did care about my opinion and this was something that people wanted to know. Okay, well then now I need to seek legal counsel for how I can properly disseminate this to where I don't have to worry about bad repercussions, right? There's a way that we can present this in a way that isn't going to have really, negative ramifications. And so that's what it really comes down to. I'm not against it, but I think that in order to do that, I just need to be honest with you. So that's what the point of this video is just to be honest. So what are my biases? I can get those out there. That's not a problem. So my biases are, I do believe in DUI enforcement. I believe that people that are impaired, that operate motor vehicles, they do kill, right? That is a deadly combination. And I do believe DUI enforcement is important. And like I said, here I have and you can kind of look at the screens here. I have, for example, the SFST refresher instructor guide. I have the complete manual. You can see that manual. I have it completely in its completion. Here we have the American Prosecutor Research Institute, National Traffic Law Center, Horizontal Gaze Nystagmus, The Science in the Law. This is a large hundreds plus page manual here, a resource guide for judges, prosecutors, and law enforcement. I have it in its totality. I'm one of those nerds that reads it. And so while I do believe in DUI enforcement, I also understand that there is, we have to have an understanding for the truth into what we're saying. We have to understand, for example, are SFSTs, are they the best fit for what we do in modern 2025, right? We know the San Diego study, and for those of you that aren't familiar, for those of you in law enforcement, this will probably be familiar. For those of you that don't, there's just so much that you may not know. There's so much that law enforcement doesn't know when it comes to DUIs. And as somebody who studies this, again, I study DUI regularly. I study it so much that I have come to an epiphany where my bias is, maybe these studies created in the 70s and 80s, maybe we need to relook at how, for example, again, my bias is my opinion, how we go about doing these and conducting these investigations, right? And so I'm going to put some screenshots up. I'm not going to read them because, again, before I get into the nitty gritty in this, before I really want to break this down, I do want to talk to legal counsel. Okay, that's 100% accurate. I don't want to needlessly, again, put myself in any situation, but I will present them here on the screen for you to look at while I talk about this just from a 360 point of view. But there's so much about SFSTs. There's so much about the NHTSA doctrine that I think it's important that we really have an understanding, truly have an understanding of what the tests are that we're doing and how efficient and effective these tests are, especially given the fact that, every officer is a little different. The situation where a person may find themselves conducting SFSTs, for example, may be a little different. There may be lighting concerns. There may be topography concerns, right? There may be the standard of training concerns. So these are all things that I think are important for us to look into, especially when it comes to, for example, horizontal gaze nystagmus, right? Are there any disclaimers that the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has put out? Well, if there are, maybe that's something that we need to look at. Is it okay to ask questions about the efficacy of these tests, right? Is that okay? Is it okay if we understand really the true nuance, right? Is this just a correlation between alcohol consumption and HGN, or is there really hardcore science-backed evidence to this, right? I think these are questions that, if there were questions about it, hypothetically, that we should be allowed to ask. We should be allowed to look at. Another thing is, are there case law on SFSTs? A lot of people don't know this, but there's case law for pretty much everything. So is there case law to this, right? Is everyone in agreement? Is there a Supreme Court case precedence, for example, that says, no, SFSTs are a science-based evidence, or do we have a bunch of circuits stating something to the contrary, right? So these are all things that I think they're important that we need to look at when it comes to DUI enforcement. And again, as somebody who studies this, I study this extremely hard. I think that if we were to talk about it, right, it would be impossible for me to talk about this from a place where I'm not sharing my opinion, where I'm not sharing the case law, right? I don't think that I have and I don't know how I can present this information to you in an effective way without giving you my opinion. And again, truly, I don't believe you guys watch me for my opinion. So that's why we haven't talked about it. And that's why I have no plans or desire to talk about it unless you guys out there want to talk about it. So if you guys have kind of seen the screenshots that I've put up, and you guys are understanding, the fact that if we were to talk about DUI, it would be talking about my opinion only, and it would not be, at all indicative of law enforcement in general. It would be not indicative of investigations or criminal justice at all. So this would be, the disclaimer would be, this is just information for you guys to look at and make your own determination. So that's what, it really comes down to. And again, I don't truly think that's what this channel is for. I don't think you guys really care about my opinion. So just being honest, that is why. Now, if I'm wrong, and if there's people that want to know it, and enough of you guys are like, no, actually, you have built this rapport, and we do want to know what your disclaimers are. We do want to know what your opinion is on the subject matter. And there's enough of you that want that, then I will absolutely seek legal counsel, and we'll break it down. But until then, I just don't have a strong desire to needlessly put out my opinions when you guys aren't asking for that. So again, just want to be open and transparent about that. But hey, I could be wrong. So if I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section below. But I'm curious, right? So I put this video out. This is kind of open-ended. What do you guys think about DUI enforcement? Is this the screenshots that I've showed you thus far? Are you guys surprised by this? Did you guys know this? And tell me, do you want me to talk about my opinions when it comes to DUI investigations? Let me know. If you guys truly want to know it, you guys truly do care about my opinions, please let me know in the comment section below. If you guys like this content, please like, share, subscribe. As always, guys, long live the Republic.